I'm here running the Digimarcon podcast here at Digimarcon in Philadelphia. I am joined here with the ever so lovely Steve Krull. Steve, let's just jump into it because this is what it's all about: is your business, what you do, and we'll go from there.
I am a digital marketer, but what I like to say is that we're digital marketing and strategy consultancy, and we lead with strategy, but it doesn't fit so well in that tagline, so I say it that way. But the reality is that anybody can run a digital marketing campaign, but if you're not doing it against goals and metrics, why bother? I've been fired so many times for not meeting goals when clients haven't defined them. So I got tired of it and said, you know what, we should be strategy first.
I love that. Not meeting goals because clients didn't define them. So is that how the whole strategy became like your focus?
It did, because you sit in strat planning sessions with clients. I'm talking large enterprise clients to small itty bitty clients. And itty bitty clients, you give the benefit of the doubt. It's the larger clients you think they should have their act together. And you sit in a room and they're planning for next year, and the budget comes before the plan. So now you have $10 to work with, and you have to shoehorn that. I get it. It's a cart and a horse, right? I can make a plan and then see if I have enough money for it. I can get the money and see if I can put a plan to it. And I think there's reasons for both. But this idea that we're sitting in a room and trying to figure out how to spend the money instead of doing it with some sense of strategic vision to say, where do we want to get to? Where does this little apple cart take us?
I love that. I had the privilege of talking to one of your team members a while back at dinner, and he brought up the fact that as an agency, you guys were aware that you needed to start getting some bigger clients, that you have a lot of smaller clients, but that you kind of struggled getting away from that. And I found out part of it from his backstory growing up is he had some experiences that made him much more aware of the advantages that he had in life, and that he became very passionate about helping those who didn't have what he had to get ahead. Why would you say you still have this heart or inability to say no to these little clients?
Because that's where we all grew up. I didn't start as a large agency. I started as a small agency, started helping small companies. And then at some point you're afforded opportunities in larger organizations and you realize, well, we can hang out here. The catch-22 with larger organizations is usually a couple of things. It's turnover and culture. And over the years, we've started to realize that we want to work with people that give a damn. So I want to work with people, and listen, you give a damn, I know that, but it doesn't mean it's not always perfect alignment,
right?
But you want to give yourself the ability to say no. So I'd love to work with larger clients, and we have over the years. We've got this who's who list of clients you know by name, and we don't get a lot of those clients so much right now, and that's okay. And I'll take them, don't get me wrong, but it's interesting to try and tailor your own marketing to level up. How do we get those conversations? Because you've got a strong network, I've got a strong network, but it's not filled with CMOs of Fortune 500 companies.
Right.
If it were, we might not be sitting here. However, we can do the work and we want to do the work, but the smaller mid-sized companies, those are the folks that can really benefit from our experience. I've been doing this for almost 2 decades, and I want to be able to bring that experience back. I just had a conversation with a wonderful woman named Wendy, who runs an interior design company here in Philadelphia, and she's at her wit's end for how to promote the differentiators she brings to interior design. So she brings a lot of energy and metaphysical to it, which is super interesting. It's if you're familiar with Feng Shui, it's sort of it. She said it's not quite like that, but that's a reasonable similarity. And so she's trying to figure out how does she scale this, and she loves it and she's passionate about it. And it's in me to say, how can I help?
Yeah. I totally get that. People are like, Chad, you have to start charging for this and this and that.
Right.
And this. I can't help it. It's just like,
when does the meter start running?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's like, I can help you.
Yeah.
And I want to help you. Oh, I also have to eat. Right. And it's like, so is there a kind of putting you on the spot there? Is there and you don't have to name them, but is there a particular client that maybe was a smaller one that, because of your attention to these smaller ones, that you're really able to create something special for them?
So I look to, and this was pro bono work. We fell in love with a group out of Chicago, Aspire, that helps children and adults with disabilities.
Mm.
And they've got group homes, they've got career centers where they teach job skills, they have interventions and therapies and all sorts of other wonderful things for people with various disabilities. And they also have this fledgling coffee business on the side. And we did some work with them. And people who work in charity and in digital know that you don't ask people for donations online. It just doesn't work.
Right.
If I sit down with a charity today and they say, "Well, I'd like to get more donations," like, yeah, so would I. It doesn't work that easily. They have to know who you are and they have to believe in your mission and your spirit.
Right.
And so when we started working with them, we ended up doing a strategic deep dive at the tail end of our first year with them. We worked with them for 3 or 4 years, all pro bono. And we built out a roadmap, a strategic roadmap for their primary business, which was Aspire. And then we did some work on the coffee business. And it was really cool to see the coffee business grow and scale. What was the rule? I can't remember the number. It's either 100 or 1,000 bags of coffee equals one new employee.
Oh, wow.
And so that was the target that came out of this. And you want to talk inspiring. So you're talking, this is a place run by people with disabilities, working Down syndrome, autism, people with physical disabilities who are there roasting and bagging coffee and sending it out, and they're working with businesses. And it's just so redeeming for you as a business person and to go there and do that and help them and to see it grow. And it's little things like that. It doesn't have to be a huge win. That was it. For me, it's a huge win because you're creating jobs and opportunities. And I'm going to say it out loud. We're a shitty little marketing agency, and many are, right? Listen, we love what we do and we're good at it. But when I say shitty little marketing agency, it's about the fact that by nature, we don't give back. It's not built into what the company does for a living. So you try to go out of your way to give back. So we do community events, etc. We support nonprofit causes, but then we also try to work with clients who quote unquote give a damn and finding people who want to leave the world a little better than they found it. And even individuals in companies. You can work for a giant company and maybe the company, it's not that the company has a soul or doesn't. Like, can you really tell sometimes, like PepsiCo, do they have a soul or not? Right. But the people within the organization have a soul and they have a purpose and a mission for Pepsi and for themselves. And you can rally behind that.
Awesome. Love that. Hey, you spoke today here at Digimarcon. I've seen you at a few others. What's your favorite thing about Digimarcon?
Networking.
Yeah.
Digimarcon is the reason we're friends.
That's true.
And I'm staying an extra day because I found you here.
Aww.
And so we'll see what kind of shenanigans we can get up to later.
Fingers crossed.
It's that idea that networking, it's sharing knowledge. Whether you want to or not, you need to be a lifelong learner. And Michael Hyatt, he's a leadership coach and former CEO, and he paraphrases what a lot of other people have said, but he just says you can't learn with your mouth open. So shut up and listen, and there's a lot to listen to here, and there are a lot of wonderful people who have great stories to tell.
Love it. Well, thanks for doing this with me, man. Appreciate it.
Glad you had me on.
Thanks
for the invite.
We find who we can find.
And for those of you out there, get to a Digimarcon in your city or town or state or country.
They're all over the world.
All over the world. They are smaller, intimate conferences made for your locale, if you will. Now, I flew in from Chicago to Philly, but it's because there's information that should be shared with the local folks here, but they try to keep it intimate very specifically for the greater benefit of you, the audience.
Yeah, love that. All right, guys. Till then, we'll see you next time. I think I'm going to do a few more of these. We'll see how it goes.
See if we can find the off switch.